You're back. Wow, that was quick. The weekend went by quick. How was your weekend? Mine was, so-so. We're doing some fireside chat, sitting by the campfire. It's kind of nice to get a feel for what the kids are talking about right now. I remember when I was young and everything seemed so huge. You remember, if you're older and you're watching this show, you remember when you were younger? Now when you get a little older and it just doesn't matter as much. But when you're younger, you think your whole world is caving in, if something doesn't go right. Or so I think what's happening now, though, is as a human race, we're building up more tolerance and we're learning to accept one another, for their differences all over the world. And I think as we move closer to unifying worldwide, we're going to see more of this unification, and we're going to see that groups that are not tolerant will slowly dissolve. They'll just crumble because when we think of God's world, God built a world of tolerance, of love. Like we have all these races of people all over the earth. The Tower of Babel. We remember that story, and all the languages were scattered. So, anyways, we got some callers lined up here this evening. Let's hit caller number one. Caller number one, are you there?
Are we online yet? Oh, okay, yes. By the way, thanks, Bud, for getting me online. My big dilemma right now is money. Oh yeah, I'm a second-generation JW raised in the truth. Problem is, many of us have been struggling financially. Let me explain my situation. I live in a suburb that is 50 kilometers or 30 miles from the nearest Kingdom Hall. So imagine the expenses in just gasoline and going to the Kingdom Hall 3 to 4 times a week by the time you factor in the service ministry they want to start up again. I've been on assistance for the first part of the virus, and then I took a lesser-paying job at a grocery chain, and my wife took a job at the 7-Eleven Continent store on weekends. We are trying our hardest to make ends meet, and from chatting with many others, there are a lot of us are in this predicament. It just seems with the kids growing, I'm always buying new suits and new dresses for the children. The meeting dress shoes alone are expensive. We have to drive 2 hours to get to the assemblies, and then they announce how broke they are from the assembly platform, and everyone feels guilt into donating. Normally I'd throw in a $50 bill and be done with it. They even break out the amount of people attending and then give the expenses. Not sure how they figure out expenses, but it seems the whole thing costs a lot for everyone donating their time. It works out to $30 a person. My family alone cost me $120 if I do the math. Then I can't even imagine the sister next to me, with 3 little kids all alone and no husband. How can she pay that much? Then I feel obligated to dig deeper. I better kick in a bit more to cover her expenses. The brothers even say that from the platform, to make all of us brothers feel guilt into contributing more money than even our household. So you see how it is. Now they want us to go into the ministry again. I just cannot afford this any longer, and I am having panic attacks at work. The doctor gave me Ativan, a mind relaxant to use at night. I have taken out a second mortgage on the house. The next thing is to sell the house and move the family into an apartment. We have been looking at the rent for an apartment, but the kids may have to share a room. I just don't want to think of this. They are teenagers. What should I do?
Well, caller number one, that I don't know what to say. That's a really sad story. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm just crying with you. This is sad, and I think this is going around all over the world. There's 8.5 million Jehovah's Witnesses that have just went through the virus, and many of them have to leave their jobs. A lot of places closed down through the virus, and many a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses. Could you imagine if you're a janitor and all the office buildings closed down because no one's going to the office? You're out of work. You're a janitor, you're a window cleaner. You know, who's going to pay to clean a window? They can't even keep their businesses open. And this is what we were dealing with in the virus. So I just think I think the governing body just really has not thought this over. Or maybe they have, and they just think, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. And I just think it's selfish, is what I think. I think there's not a lot of empathy for these people. Now, it's easy for me to say, just quit the religion and go do something else. That's an easy way for me to say, but I know that's a hard thing for you to do. But here's what I would say. This has to be working on your faith, but if you're happy with the religion, you want to keep feeding your family spiritually and you want to keep in the religion, I would say just don't go to the meetings, don't do anything. You don't have to buy suits, you don't have to buy shoes, you can Zoom in. You've been doing that through the virus. And I would just basically do what you can. That's the best you can. You can Zoom in and just become inactive unless you want to minister online or, with your neighbors. So there's a number of ways of doing it without spending the money. And you just keep doing that. I'm thinking that with all the monkeypox and different things going around, these viruses aren't over. And Jesus said they're not over. And it's just ridiculous putting more gasoline into the atmosphere when our earth is burning up. And I just think it's hypocritical for the governing body to put out messages that the earth is burning up, at the end tell 8.5 million people to fill their gas tanks up full and get out in the field ministry. I think that's a hypocritical viewpoint. And I think it's up to the people in the religion to stop it. You just quit going. That's all. Quit buying suits, quit buying shoes. It's hard enough to buy running shoes to get your kids off to school, let alone having 3 sets of suits and all these clothes for service. And I know it's an extra $1,000 a month. And if you can save $1,000 a month, you can save your house. And that's what I would suggest. Save your house, save your $1,000 a month. Just quit the meetings, Zoom in. You've done it before. That's all the time we have for now, folks. So that was a long call. That was a long discussion, but I think it was a pertinent discussion. And I think when we look out there, there's a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses in the same situation right now, and they just can't afford it. And I'm not saying quit your religion. I'm saying just quit doing what they're telling you to do. Quit starting your car. Quit going out and buying new suits just for this assembly. Don't go to the assembly. Then they just quit doing them. You do the assemblies online, you Zoom into them. You see, folks, it's the people that can manage the religion. If all 8.5 million just did that and just started quitting doing that, then pretty soon the governing body has to come up with a new measure, and it's back to Zoom. It's back to what people can afford because the earth is still crippled from the virus financially. Okay, well, that's all the time we have for now. And thanks again for attending this evening. And until next time, send your messages in to JW Night Talk Confidential.